You're listening to the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Each week, I'm going to be interviewing top realtors from coast to coast to give you a backstage pass on how they've created their amazing real estate empires and how you can copy them. Hi, everyone. This is Real Estate Coach Craig Proctor, and welcome to the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Today, my special guest from the greater Montreal area, the South Shore, to be exact, is Francis Lavoie. Francis, thank you so much for being with us here today. Give us a little bit about your backstory, how you got into real estate, how you met me, and the amazing things that have been happening over the last few years.
Perfect. So thanks for inviting me, Craig. It's been 20 years that I'm in the real estate industry right now. And I came up to, when I began, I was at Remax. And I was struggling with door knocking, cold calling, and things like that. But I went, my salary was not too bad. I made around $100,000 per year, something like that. But I tried to learn better way to get better and better in real estate. And I was looking for people that was already doing it, to be able to copy the success instead of just reinventing the wheel. And finally, I found you. I found a little piece of marketing, and you were telling me that in that marketing that I could stop doing door knocking, cold calling, and make more money. And that's exactly at that moment that I realized that I was not in the real estate industry, but in the marketing industry.
In the marketing industry. Was it like all my information, of course, was in English, and you're bilingual, obviously. Was it difficult to take my ads and my marketing and translate it, or was that fairly easy for you?
It was really easy because it's not, it's not complicated ads,
Right.
just a couple of words. So, it's just that, it was a lot more understanding what we're looking for in an ad, what we're aiming, because when I realized that, buyers are not looking for a real estate agent and sellers are not looking for a real estate agent, you understand how to make the ads to bring a lot more people to with the marketing that you make.
How many homes did you sell last year, you and your team?
It was 500 something. Yeah.
500 plus transactions. So, so everyone that's watching, check in, ask us any questions. We are speaking to one of the top agents in Canada, okay, in Quebec. Francis serves the South Shore area. Okay, so how far are you from Montreal?
15 minutes.
Okay, so close, suburbs of Montreal. I'm in Toronto. I'm in the, I would tell people if they said, where are you from? Toronto, but I'm north of Toronto. So we're both Canadian. He speaks better French than I do. But Francis is one of my top members. And that's why I wanted to introduce them to everyone today. I mean, anyone that sells over 500 homes in real estate has a system. They have a process. And the reason you're watching this is because you want to learn from people that are more successful than you. And so you're in the right place. Francis is going to explain how we got started. How did he go from a solo agent making $100,000 a year, cold calling, door knocking, doing all the normal things that they teach real estate agents to do, to selling over 500 homes a year? So
something that
go ahead.
If I can say something, sometimes people, when they hear that you make more than 500 sales per year, it's like something unreachable. But as you said, I just started like anybody else.
Well, you probably thought that when you first started with me, I would have introduced you to other agents selling 500 or 600 homes a year. I was selling over 500 homes a year. So you probably felt the same way when you started with me. You saw these people on stage making millions of dollars, selling 400 or 500 homes a year, and you thought it was obtainable. So what advice would you give to people that are watching this that they feel that way? They feel like, well, this guy's from another planet. Like I could never do that, because that's how you used to feel.
Exactly. I was seeing your success. I was inspired by it, but I didn't really believe that I was going to attain that success because it was too far away. So I think the best way to do it is just to accept, to do it step by step and see the first step, the first success you can have. And it could be so fast. Like when I decided to start your system, all the marketing ads, all the ads that you showed me, I went from, I was doing approximately 150,000 when I started with you. And the year, 1 year and a half after, you know, because it was like 6 months, and after that, another. So I was doing 300,000. So I doubled my income in a year and a half. So I was like, wow, this system is really working.
This works. This actually works. So you were excited and you were motivated, and you kept doubling your income.
Exactly.
You know, you go from 100 to 300, 300 to 600. You just kept doubling it up. Okay, so a few things that we probably should talk about. First of all, I love the fact that you're from the province of Quebec, because of the language issue. A lot of real estate agents in Quebec definitely feel my marketplace is different. I'm sure you might have felt that way as well. But as you found, everything in this system applies just nicely, perfectly, whether you're in Quebec or in Canada or anywhere in the United States, anywhere in the world for that matter.
You know what, the famous thought of it's not working in my marketplace is so funny, because yes, some people, because it's in French, it will be different. But the funniest one was somebody that came up to me in one of your conference and said, it will not work in my market. And like, it was like, where are you? And he was in Toronto.
Yeah. He was in my marketplace.
Exactly.
And that's very normal. So I'm glad we're addressing this. For those of you that are watching, Francis and I have really talked about two paradigm shifts. Number one, that selling 500 homes a year seems unattainable. You may feel that. Completely normal. That's how I felt about selling 500 homes a year. If you'd asked me a few years earlier, I would have said impossible. And Francis is like, yeah, when he first met me, it's like, well, that would be nice, but you don't understand my situation. My marketplace is different. So the key for any of you, whether you follow Craig Proctor or whoever, is you should get a mentor. Don't try to figure this business out on your own. I think it was the best decision you ever made was just, Francis, like he said earlier, I didn't reinvent the wheel. I wanted to learn from someone that's doing it.
Yeah.
And so we try to make this fun. Francis, a lot of your very best friends have been from the Craig Proctor events, people you've met. And, one of the benefits of hanging out with me is actually not hanging out with me. It's hanging out with the other people that are, selling hundreds of houses all over North America. And I don't want anyone to think that you have to want to sell hundreds of houses to be with Craig Proctor. When you started, you probably didn't have an ambition to sell 500 homes a year. You were like, how do I go from 100 to 300,000?
Because the biggest problem is if you think about, I'm already working a lot. I'm working all these hours to make 100,000 and 150,000. I don't want to double these hours. But what I didn't realize at that point is that as soon as I was able to scale up the business and bring more customer, I was able to scale up the business by building a team. So the more that I made, the less that I work.
Another paradigm shift. All right. A lot of us are brought up. I mean, I was brought up on a farm, and that was definitely my paradigm is if you want to make more, you got to work harder. And so that's what a lot of real estate agents believe is, oh my God, I'm already killing myself to make $100,000 a year. To make $1 million a year, I'd have to give up my whole life. It's the opposite. When you understand leverage, that's what Francis is saying with the team and marketing. When you understand leverage, while your income goes up, your hours actually go down. Now, Francis does this with a team. So we're going to get into, okay, how does this work? First of all, let's talk about how it doesn't work. Francis, he does no door knocking, no cold calling, no traditional things, yet he sells much more real estate than 99.9% of the agents in North America. So we do this by using smart modern marketing. No one's answering the phone today. We have to get buyers and sellers to call us. So the first thing we would teach you, first thing I taught Francis is, what is it the buyers and sellers really want? What offers can we make to get the best ones to call us, right? We want the best buyers. We don't want to have to call hundreds of people to find a good one. We want only the good ones to call us. That's exactly what you did, Francis, in the first year or so, and it worked.
Exactly.
And pretty soon, Francis is working 12 hours a day, and you got to the point where you physically could not meet with all the buyers and sellers.
And that was my next, shift in my paradigms, because, the first one was marketing. So I was able to build this business because of marketing. And after that, I said, okay, that's too much business for me. And if I am able to recruit some agents, get some help, I could even have a bigger business. And it went so well that I was one of the youngest one to go get the $1 million award at 27 years old. So because of that, I was able to grow to 1 million in GCI and gross revenue really fast because of the team, because everybody was there to work with me by working less hours than ever before.
It's a great confidence builder when you're making $1 million a year and you're still in your 20s. So, and I'm so excited to see agents come in and really do well in a short period, but you really bought into it. So the reason, before we talk about the team, I said to Francis before we get started, we need to make sure everyone understands the reason you have a team is if you had an overflow of business that you couldn't get to. Now, I know there's a lot of bad advice from some trainers that say, well, if you want to get rich in real estate, run out and hire people. That is bad advice. First of all, you figure out the marketing. We're not suggesting that anyone run out and split their income with a team member. That's not the idea. The idea is to have so much business coming in that this is for the overflow. So in the beginning, Francis, you were still selling real estate out there, listing houses, working with buyers, and the overflow would go to your team.
Exactly. So this way, you're just making more money. You don't make less. You don't split your income.
Right. So everyone see how that would work. We would teach you first step is, as a solo agent, you're going to do as much as you can, but you can't get to it all. If we have the marketing set up right for you, can't get to it all. So who do I hire first, second, third, and so on? So you're making all the money you can, but the overflow business that you normally wouldn't get to is being handled by your team. And you might have a 60-40, 50-50 split, however you want to do it. But it's newfound money. Okay. At what point are you still going out of appointments now, or do you delegate everything?
I delegate everything.
Okay. So now Francis delegates all the listings and buyers. So I want everyone to think about this. And you probably remember, Francis, the very first time you heard these words come out of my lips. How many homes?
Impossible.
Yes.
Impossible.
How many homes could you sell if it had nothing to do with you? See, Francis, how many homes he sells has nothing to do with him. So you can sell a lot of real estate. I think everyone would agree if it didn't involve you. And that's how Francis has his business set up. He works on the marketing, managing and running and the business. So he's like the quarterback. The leads or appointments come in and he throws the appointments to you and you go out and you list the house. What else do you do, Francis? You do not only do you do the recruiting, but you do the training. You spend a lot of time helping the agents on your team become better at listing appointments and buyer appointments. And the reason you spend so much time with your team members is it's economics. The more time and effort that Francis spends with his team members, the better they become, the more money the team member makes, which means the more money Francis makes.
Exactly.
So there's steps to this. First of all, for most of you, you've got to get your marketing right. Okay, you don't need to worry about a team. You need to worry about how to get you business first. Then we get to the point, just like we did with Francis, we'll create an overflow. Then when you get to the point where you're like, gee, Craig, I can't go out on all the appointments, then and only then do we talk about building the team.
Yeah.
Now, there's mistakes that can be made there. Francis and I could do a whole hour webinar on mistakes we've made when growing the team. So we have a system for this. Some of you watching this, you may have already tried to have a team and you're like, I tried that. That didn't work. That is true. You could make mistakes and hire the wrong people and not have the proper systems in place. And hiring a team, if it's not done right, could make your business worse.
Absolutely.
But I want everyone to understand you're going to get to a point as you start to get the Craig Proctor marketing in place. If you do this right, you will get to the point where Francis and I got where, I can't work 7 days a week for too long. I'm going to burn out. So the solution is fix the marketing first, and then we're going to grow the team. And in the beginning, you're still out working alongside your team, taking the listings and the buyers. But eventually, if you wish, you can do what Francis is doing. He has a real business.
And yeah, and what is a real business? A real business is a business that serves your life, not your life serving the business. And that makes the whole difference. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. I have, you know, I have a custody with my kids, you know, because I'm not with their mother anymore. So when it's my time to have the kids, I have my kids. There will never be an appointment that will screw this up. I can spend quality time with my family, quality time with my friends. I can travel whenever I want because the business is serving me instead of me serving the business.
And what Francis just said is what we all want. Yeah. Right? What he said is what we all want. That's what you thought when you got into real estate. That's what you thought you were signing up to, right? You thought, well, I get into real estate. I'll be able to control my time. I'm going to make lots of money. I'm going to love what I do. And the truth for most realtors is they don't love what they do because they're doing a bunch of things they're not good at and they don't like cold calling and door knocking and begging for business. It's not working, so they're working crazy hours. They're not financially well rewarded. When they stop, their business stops. So for a lot of real estate agents, when they get into real estate, they think I'm going to have freedom. The opposite happens, right? They become a slave to their business, and the business is not serving the life. So
they all forget about it. That's what is crazy about it, is that we forget about it. We just want to run to get the next award or things like that. But at the end, you're supposed to have a life in all of this.
And that's a good point. I think the reason agents forget about it, like, because people would say, well, how could you forget about the fact that your life is not good? Right? It's because we look around at all the other agents and we come to terms with, well, that's just the nature of the business.
Yeah.
Everyone else in my office is working 12 hours a day. They're all unhappy, right? So we just think, well, that's how this is, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Exactly.
So Francis is a shining beacon of somebody that would not accept the status quo in real estate. Mm-hmm. And so how many years have you been with me now?
It's been since 2007.
2007. So I can't do the math on that, but that's a lot of years. 2007, we're 224. So what's that? How many is that? Is that 17 years? Is that right?
Like that, yeah.
Something like that. I need a calculator, but a long time. Now, some people might say, well, why you been with Craig for all that time? Like, didn't you just go to the first seminar and okay, I got it all, and now I don't need to be coached by Craig Proctor? Why hang out with me since 2007? What's the benefit of being in the Craig Proctor system after all these years?
There's so many reasons. For sure, you know, as you said a little bit earlier, there's first of all the community, okay? Because we're all helping each other. We're all facing the same problem, all facing the same, you know, depending at which level you are in your business right now. So that's on the community side, because we're speaking, we're making friends with each other, we're making some masterminds together. So it builds something really, really strong to help us grow in the long run. But on top of that is that there's so many information in your system that's everything is available. Like if somebody just want to go from 100,000 to 150 and want to stop there, you will find all this information. But after that, if you want to go to the next level, then to the next level, to the next level, you know, you need to be there and you need to take the information for the next level. So that's the reason why, because it's not, you know, the fundamentals is always there. And on top of that, you know, everybody's renewing, so, you know, with the new technology and everything. So it's always something new that I learn each and every time that I went on a webinar or in a seminar. It's always something new.
And the business is always changing. So we've always got new systems, new processes, new marketing, you know, based on what's happening with the marketplace. But yes, it's being part of a group of like-minded individuals. Most real estate agents don't have anyone successful in their marketplace that's willing to share what works with them. It's the opposite, right? Nobody wants to share. If anything, they would tell you the wrong information. They're not there to help you. So we make this fun. We teach you how to build a business, as Francis said, as big or small as you want. You know, it's funny. I had a guy come up to me once at a conference, and probably you or someone at your production level was on stage at the conference talking about how they make millions of dollars and they sell hundreds of houses. So this guy comes up to me at the back of the room. He says, oh, Craig, I would never want to make $1 million a year. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll bite on this. Why would you not want to make $1 million a year? And he proceeded to talk about how horrible he would perceive his life to be. Oh my God, I'm already working 70 hours a week. And so he had that paradigm that if he was to make $1 million a year, how bad his life would look. And it's the opposite. And this is what we're trying to get to get realtors to understand is it's not true. It's a myth. It's a paradigm. It's a false belief. So I said to the gentleman, he said, I would never want to make $1 million a year. And I said, why? Did you try it and you didn't like it? Like, have you ever heard any Craig Proctor member say, hey, Francis, I was making $1 million a year, but I didn't like it. So I decided to go back to making 100,000. That doesn't exist, right? So Francis and I are talking a lot about mindset and paradigms, because here's what I believe. The number one thing that holds a real estate agent back is themselves. Actually implementing this system is easy. I've made it easy. I've been doing this for 30 years. The judge and jury on whether the Craig Proctor system works, I mean, that's long been decided. We've had tens of thousands of agents come through, and I'm now coaching more millionaire agents than any other coach or trainer or guru. So we've got the kinks worked out. You don't have to worry. You're not a guinea pig here. We can give you the exact systems you need to generate leads, convert leads, the presentation systems, and then finally, at the end, grow your team so you can recruit, hire, train, and manage. The end result of this is you do business on your terms.
Exactly. And you know what? If there's somebody in my area, call me if you want to know if you're in my area, because we're serving a big area. And, right now I'm so free from everything that I generate in my team that I decided in my agency to help other agents like me to do the same, to do another level group. So I have a couple of team leaders right now who's doing it at my place. And instead of being at a brokerage where the owners doesn't understand your systems and they have to fight with it and everything, they can all bring the coaching that they get from you, and I can help them to build it directly in my brokerage right now. So they can come to me and we can grow their business to 500 transactions per year like I did. But now I can help them to do it for them with all your coaching at the same time.
Okay, you just said so many important things.
Yeah.
Okay, so Quebec area realtors. What we teach is different than the status quo. It's what we teach. Your broker owner does not understand it.
No.
In fact, if you try to do some of the things that we teach you, there's a chance your broker owner might say, oh, we can't do that. That's different. We're not allowed to do that in Quebec. That's against the rules. We hear that stuff all the time, yet we have millionaire agents all over Quebec actually doing this. The point that Francis is making is you want to hang your license with a broker that's going to support you and understands the Craig Proctor system. You don't want to have a broker owner that wants to shut you down, that wants to come up with reasons why, oh, you can't do this and you can't do this. And a big problem with brokers, I understand it, is they have 100 agents at their office. And the last thing I want is this guy, Francis Leroy, he's going to come along. He's going to sell 500 homes a year. The other agents are going to get mad. And so I just want all the agents to do the same thing. And it would be better if Francis just sold 50 homes and the other agents wouldn't be upset. So that thing happens, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you're watching this, you're in Quebec, and you're in the South Shore area, which I don't know where that is, but I know it's close to Montreal. If you're watching this, first of all, you know who Francis is. So if you're in France, you don't have to, oh, like, who's this guy? You know him. Now, you might not even like him because he kicks your butt every day. And you might look at him with envy. He's a super nice guy, by the way. I used to get that all the time. I used to hear from, I would do an offer presentation or listing, and the other agents in Toronto would say, well, you're actually a pretty nice guy. Like the other agents said in the office, they said you were like the devil. There's a lot of professional jealousy, right? So if you're in the Montreal area, you know who Francis is. What I would recommend is that you give him a call. Okay, you contact him and you have a conversation about how this would work. Basically, here's how it works. If you were to partner up with Francis, I promise you this, you would make more money net in your pocket and you would work less. And you would only focus on the things that you love in real estate, which is meeting with sellers and buyers all day long. You would not be banging signs in the lawn. You wouldn't have to worry about the advertising or where the leads come from. You wouldn't have to waste your time taking pictures of houses, going to get keys cut, making feature sheets. All that is done for you. Francis wants one thing. He wants you to go from listing appointment to listing appointment to listing appointment. Now, he doesn't want you to mess these listing appointments up. He's going to spend countless hours every week sharing with you everything that's made him millions of dollars in the Craig Proctor system. Now, you might be good. You might think, well, I don't need anyone's help. Look, we can all get better. You know, Francis would show you, okay, here's the very specific things that would help you win some more listing appointments. He wants you to win. He's getting part of the commission. When you win, Francis wins. So this is free coaching. That's what this is. And you don't have to spend 15 or 17 years with Craig Proctor to figure it all out. Francis has already done that. All you have to do today is say maybe. Go ahead and be skeptical. You can say, well, I really don't like Francis. Well, why is that? Because he sells 500 homes a year. And you know, I've been telling everyone that the market is tough and nobody can make that much money in Montreal. And well, here's Francis. And we have others in Quebec that are doing very, very well using the Craig Proctor system. All you have to do is say maybe today and reach out to Francis and have a conversation. Here's what you're going to find, as you've already witnessed here today. He's a really nice guy. He doesn't have a mindset of scarcity. Whether you join up with him or not, it's not going to change his life, but it might change your life. He's still going to see his kids. He's still going to take the weekends off. He's still going to make millions of dollars, whether you reach out to him or not. But this could profoundly have a difference in your life because Francis would plug you in, only if you're the right person, by the way, into his money-making machine. So let's talk about that for a minute. Some of you are watching this like, oh, okay, here they are. This webinar is all about recruiting. Nope, it's not. Most of you watching this are not even in Montreal, so this doesn't apply to you. But lessons are going to be learned here. I don't care if you're in Toronto or Vancouver or Miami, Florida, or Los Angeles watching this. The lesson is there's a formula to be successful as an agent. Any real estate broker will want to hire you, right? So you might be watching this like, okay, so they want me to call Francis and he'll hire me. No, we don't hire anybody here. We're looking for a very specific type of person. Because every brokerage that I've ever heard of say the same thing. Well, you know, we'll hire you and we'll provide great training. Every brokerage says that, but in many cases, the training doesn't happen, or the training is not good training because the person training you has never made millions of dollars.
And you have with your system, Craig, we have a franchise prototype. Like it's a real franchise prototype where you can have real steps to follow through to get to the success. Most training are like, oh, you want to learn about prospecting? Let's show you prospecting. Or there's no system in place. But here we can have, you know, a real system that we have to follow to be sure to get to the
exactly. I mean, imagine if you contacted Francis. And Francis said to you, okay, here's what we've got. I am going to make sure you make 100 cold calls every day. You don't need Francis to make 100 phone. We're not here to motivate you or to tell you to do more of the stuff you're already doing that doesn't work, right? Most coaches are like that. Most coaching programs is like, well, here's how to do a better open house. Or here's, you know, we're going to motivate you or keep you accountable to make 200 phone calls a day instead of 100. It's not that at all. It's a system. We're going to plug you into, you're literally going to be meeting with buyers and sellers. That's your job. Now, how it would work is this. Francis wants you to make a lot of money, but also have a life. Now, let's stop there. If that was true, if you, wherever you're at selling real estate right now, if you partnered up with Francis and you made more money and had more time off, you would never leave him. That's why he has agents that are there for a long, long time. So that's the goal. So you would decide on your day timer when you would want to work. Now be careful, because if you leave it open, Francis is going to fill your day timer. So you might say, okay, I got my kids on Thursday night, so I can't work Thursday night. And this Saturday, I want to get in a round of golf. You block out your personal time, but whatever is open, we're going to book you with appointments, as many as you can handle. Now, we want to make sure that you don't mess the appointments up. So we have a listing presentation system, a buyer presentation system. And if you believe there's a best way to do it, if you believe in best practices, that's what the training is about. So we want to convert, obviously, 100% of the sellers we meet with. That's not realistic. Well, how do we get 90% or 80%? Part of it is we're only going to send you out on qualified appointments, right? We're not going to send you out on a wild goose chase meeting with people. So we pre-qualify the appointments, and you show up and you use the presentation. Let me ask everybody this. First of all, we're trying to get you to believe that this is true. If you believe that this is true and you really understood this, you would make a phone call to Francis. If you really believe, like if you understood this and you believe this, there's nobody watching this that wouldn't want to. I don't care what city in North America. You might not be in Montreal, but you might want to call him and say, is this for real?
Yeah, call me to ask.
Yeah, okay. And we have other millionaire agents from all over Canada, United States that we can have you connect with. This is real, right? So we have some information that we want to offer you that actually has nothing to do with what we've been talking about so far today, but that's okay. We're going to screen share it, and then we're going to continue on with Francis here, and we're going to talk about how you can get more information and how you should get started. The topic, the thing we were supposed to talk about today that we're not really going to talk about, is how to get for sale by owners to call you. So we're going to offer this information. Faith, if you could screen share, this is free information. We're giving out a free report, and all you have to do is type your email address into the comments below, and we're going to share with everyone for free, $0, no commitment, our information on a Renegade for sale by owner system, right? One thing we know that's good about for sale by owners, we know that they want to sell their house. So you don't have to call 100 people to find one that wants to sell. They all want to sell. They're advertising, I want to sell my house. The problem is they're saying, I want to do it without an agent. So we show you the approach to get for sale by owners to call you. Okay. Then we teach you what to say to get in the door and how to position yourself so that the for sale by owner wants to do business with you. You're going to show them how they're going to net more money in their pocket by hiring you versus trying to sell it on their own. So if you want this information on our for sale by owner lead generation system, please drop your email address into the comments below.
Just this information, Craig, is so powerful. My lead generation system for sale by owner, it costs me $500 per listing. And I have these listings coming in every week, you know, so it's a really, really good system, and everybody should take it.
So what we did with Francis is we had a conversation about, okay, Francis, who do you want to attract? Who would be your best type of buyer or seller clients in Montreal? And so we start with that first marketing system, and then we build a fence around it. So the marketing system works without Francis. So, well, Francis is driving home tonight and he goes to bed and leads are coming in. Francis could decide, I'm going to go on vacation next week, and leads are coming in. His agents are showing buyers houses. Houses are being listed. Can you see how appealing that is? For many of you, you can't even go on a vacation because you are your business and everything stops when you go on vacation. So the solution is, well, I guess I'll just never go on vacation. Or how about many of you, you don't really go on vacation. You just do work from a different location, right? You go to Mexico and you're sitting by the pool in Mexico on your laptop instead of in Montreal. So it's not really a vacation. It's just you're working from a different location. We want you to be able to make a lot of money and do business on your terms so you actually can have a real vacation, shut off the phone, not bring your laptop, and enjoy your life. So if I want to get more information, Francis, whether I'm in Montreal or I live in a different part of the United States or Canada, I just want to talk to you and say, hey, man, is this real? Like, did this really happen? Are you Craig's brother-in-law? Are you an actor? Is it true that you started with Craig in your 20s and you've been with Craig since 2007? And when you started with Craig, you were barely scraping by at 100,000, and now you're selling over 500 homes a year? Is this even possible? Or you're in the province of Quebec right now, and you're like, well, I thought our marketplace was different. I thought, because we speak French, that we couldn't do all these things. All I'm saying is open your paradigm. You're still watching this. That's a good sign. You're here for a reason. You have met Francis today, I believe, for a reason. And what would be the best way for me to reach out, Francis, and have a conversation with you?
There's so many ways. I think, I can give you directly my cell phone number. It would be a pleasure. And another way that's really interesting is that you can direct message me on Instagram. So if you add me on Instagram, you will see a lot of videos that I post. You will be inspired by what I do at the same time. And you can contact me directly on Instagram. It's Francis Lavoie that you can find me, or just Francis_Groupe Lavoie. That's in French, so it's GROUPE. Lavoie, LAVOIE. So Instagram, that's the best way to reach me. So you can direct message me. We can talk about it. Even if you just have a question to see if it's real, do it. It will be a pleasure to share my story with you.
And what we can do, Faith, I believe you could have the social media links for Francis in the comments below, right? Can you do that? Put maybe the link for his Facebook page, Instagram. So, and then we'll have your contact information there. Did you give your cell number?
I can give it.
If you want to give it, and Faith, if you can type it into the comments below, so you can call Francis, you can follow him on Instagram, see him all over social media. He's easy to get a hold of, obviously. Over 500 buyers and sellers every year find it easy to get a hold of him. You will too. So what's the best number?
514-795-9555.
Okay, final thoughts before we wrap this interview up. What would you like to share as we wrap this up with those that have hung with us for the last 45 minutes?
I think that, it's so important to remember, how your life can change if you want to focus on building a business that can serve you, a business that can, makes you totally free. The dream that we always had, now it's possible with this system. And if you want, we can even help you with that. I can help you. If you're just starting, you can be in the team for a couple of years. After 2 to 5 years, you can start your own team, and I will help you build it to 500 transactions if you want to do it in the province of Quebec or anywhere else. But if you're thinking about it right now and you're on the fence of taking the Craig Proctor coaching, do it. Just do it. It will change your life. It will completely change your business, change your life. If you're serious about having success in real estate, do it with the fun, and do it with something that you can build so it can serve you instead of just being a slave to the business. Why being a slave if it's possible not to be?
Absolutely. And get up every day and have fun, because you're doing the parts of the real estate that you really love.
Exactly.
I also would like to give everyone some contact information for me. So we do welcome everyone in all over Canada and United States to follow Francis and reach out to him. We've got his cell number here. If you'd like to book a call with my office, now you're not going to get to talk to me. It's a free 30-minute breakthrough call, but I have really good people that you could talk to. Okay. What we would do is answer all your questions, and we would ask you some questions. So here's how this would work. We're not going to try to sell you anything. What we're trying to establish is, would the Craig Proctor system be right for you? So if you go to proctorcall.com. Type that in, proctorcall.com. We'll put that link in there as well in the comments. You're going to go to my Acuity Day Timer, and you're going to book a day and a time that works for you. And one of my marketing experts, one of my team members that's worked with me for a while, will ask you some questions about, first of all, why did you book this? What are your issues? And you have an issue, right? It's like, I don't have enough leads, or I'm working all the time. Whatever your issues are, we want to know where you're at. And importantly, where do you want to go? So, maybe Francis, like when you and I first got together, you were making about $100,000 a year. So I don't remember, it was back in 07, but I probably said to you at some point, well, what would you like this to look at? Like, and you probably said, oh my God, if I could do 200 grand a year, or 300, that'd be unbelievable. And I probably said, well, what about $1 million? And then Francis would have proceeded about, well, that's crazy talk. Nobody in Montreal does that kind of business. And then you're going to give us all the obstacles, all the reasons why you can't reach your goals. I mean, it's funny, isn't it? We're going to ask you where you are now, and then where would you like to go with your business? And then we're going to ask, well, why are you not already selling 100 homes a year? And the crazy part is you'll tell us why. You will tell my office, oh, well, you don't understand. My marketplace is different. We speak French here, and here's all the things. So we're going to help you understand how to get where you want to go. Now, the question is do you want Craig Proctor to help you do it? Or do you want to keep trying to figure it out on your own? Or, I don't know, do you want to hire Tom Ferry or somebody else? This is how you find out whether Craig Proctor is right for you. It's free of charge. It'll take about 30 minutes. We'll ask you some really good questions. And at the end of the 30 minutes, you're going to know, is Craig Proctor right for me? Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not your mentor. But you'll know. And then if I'm not the right person for you, you go on and you do whatever. But I think you're going to like this. I dare any of you to call Francis. Go ahead, call him and troubleshoot this. Try to trip him up with your questions. He's the real deal. Over 500 transactions. He was making $1 million a year when he was still in his 20s. One of the top real estate agents in the country of Canada when he was still in his 30s. Now he gets to live life on his terms. He can make this as big, as small as he wants. He can go wherever he wants, when he wants, with who he wants. Isn't that what everybody wants? I want to thank you, Francis, for doing an amazing interview, and congratulations once again for all the success. I know you're going to continue to just keep growing and doing better, and most of all, having fun and enjoying life.
Sure, for sure. Thanks so much for the invitation, Craig. It was a pleasure to talk about that with you.
We'll get you back again soon. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this interview. Please let us know in any way that we can help you out. I'm real estate coach Craig Proctor, and you've been watching the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Take care, and thanks again for watching. Hi, this is Craig Proctor. Hey, I really hope you enjoyed that video. And listen, I've got a lot more information for you to help you grow your real estate business. You see, several times a week, I record new videos and I load them onto this YouTube channel. What I'd like you to do, if you'd like to access them, are two important things, and both are totally free. Number one is I'd like you to subscribe to this channel. You're going to see a little subscribe button for you to click on. And if you don't already have an account with YouTube, it's free for you to set it up. It's really easy, it's free, but you've got to subscribe to this channel. And the most important thing is to ring the little bell right next to the subscribe button. And that's going to let you know every time I load new money-making videos to help you grow your real estate business. So make sure you subscribe right now, you ring the little bell, and we'll see you on the next video.